Here to discuss is Dan Bongino, Fox News contributor and former FBI deputy director. Dan, what's more important here, Hamawy's past with the blind shake or the fact that the voters apparently did not care?
You know, it's really stunning how we got here. You know, like I was saying the other day, I kind of miss the good old-fashioned political scandals of like a binder full of women's resumes or something. Now we've got a guy who was, I'm just trying to process this, was a character witness for the blind sheikh who wanted to blow up the towers so they would collapse. I mean, the carnage as if it wasn't enough. People forget because of what happened on 9/11. You know, the original attacks where, you know, this was going to be a catastrophe was designed to be as bad as 9/11. You know, Laura, there are a lot of things this guy could have done. There are a lot of things Graham Plattner could have done in his life. I mean, I hear he's an oyster farmer and his mom is his client or whatever, who knows, while he's running against the oligarchy. But this is not the thing for you, okay? These are things in political leadership that are disqualifying. The Nazi stormtrooper tattoo, you know, when your CV has on it, you know, line 3, character witness for one of the world's most prominent terrorists. These are the kind of things, it's like applying for like a job as a bank teller with like 6 FBI convictions for bank robbery. You can do a lot of things. Redeem yourself with Jesus. He saves. But political leadership is not your thing. And really, shame on the voters for picking these guys. You know, we clean up our mess. Now it's time for them to clean up theirs.
Well, immigration matters, right? We have a lot of new voters in the United States from diverse backgrounds, a lot of new Muslim voters. Republicans said we need to welcome them with open arms from places like Afghanistan and Syria and even Iraq, Pakistan. And, you know, I don't know what the breakdown was last night, but I bet it tells a tale. Now, Dan, we got to get to this because a chaotic scene just broke out on the House floor moments right before the show between Congressman Max Miller of Ohio and Rashida Tlaib. Check this out.
Hezbollah is a terrorist organization from the gentlelady from Michigan, and its members are butchers that you like to, you know, hang out with to a certain extent. You advocate for terrorists on a daily basis.
The House will be in order.
You advocate for a terrorist regime every single day.
That is a direct attack on my character. I please
Gentleman from
request
Ohio will
to
be
strike
seated.
the words down.
Was Congressman Miller being unfair to Congresswoman Tlaib, Dan?
Unfair? I mean, these are the people who have painted Donald Trump as a Nazi while they're running a candidate who has an actual Nazi insignia using a dermal ink inside his chest. I mean, these people deserve everything they get. You know, David Horowitz wrote a book a long time ago, Unholy Alliance, how the left will ally with anyone as long as they think that that allegiance will get them power and get them power back. This is nothing more, whether it's open borders, their allegiance with the Muslim Brotherhood, Hamas, these terror groups, they don't care. I can't say to Americans strong enough terms. This modern Democrat Party, there will be no DLC in the 1980s to come and save you with this moderate Bill Clinton Southern governor thing. Your party is lost. It's been hijacked by terrorists, lunatics, open border, defund the police crazies. And if you want your country to go up in flames and be a national security nightmare, that's the party for you. I'm not telling you, the Republicans out there, we don't have issues, that we're the solution to every problem, but the cause, listen to me, the cause of all your problems are the Democrats. It's an imperfect world full of imperfect choices. But if you're choosing the D, you got big problems ahead with this motley crew of zeros.
I want to flip back to what we just discussed in the previous segment, Dan, which is kind of my modest proposal that the House and Senate Judiciary Committees convene hearings on what's going on in California with this vote count and basically just haul all the people up, fact-finding, get special masters, send a report off to DOJ, because I don't think most people realize what's going on in California. I mean, sticking to the Democrat narrative here. The vote counting that never ends, or at least it goes on for 7 days. 13 days, possibly.
I want Yeah, I want everyone in the audience to do me a favor. Pick up your phone and Google or go to your favorite search engine. Put in New York Times Adam Liptak, error and fraud at issue with mail-in and absentee balloting vote. It's a 2012 article. This is when the New York Times used to run exposés because a lot of elderly Florida Republicans were voting by mail-in and absentee, and military folks who used to vote Republican. The New York Times was really upset at all the fraud, almost double the rate they noted. Look up the article yourself. If you think internet, do your job. You'll see it was a real piece by the New York Times where they said fraud rates were twice as much by mail-in balloting. They acknowledged it. Now all of a sudden, because they think it can help Democrats in California and elsewhere prolong and win elections and cheat,
Keep it
they love
going.
mail-in balloting and they ignore their own reporting. What's that?
Yeah, well, if they counted it on election night and it was secure and all the other things, but we need to find out everything about the chain of custody, who's in control, whose decision, who has them, how they're processed.
What about the harvesting?
We need Congress, special masters, both committees, haul these people up so the voters realize it. Dan, we got to roll, but thank you for your input on that as well.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.